If you want to better understand the disparities in voting rights and criminal justice in the US today, you need to know the story of Pamela Moses. Pamela Moses, like many Americans, has spent years of her life attempting to restore her voting rights after breaking the law and serving her sentences. After her experience with the criminal justice system, she became a political activist, founding a chapter of Black Lives Matter in Memphis, and even trying to run for mayor of Memphis. It wasn't until this attempted mayoral run that Moses found out that she had been disenfranchised. Many people think that it's simply a matter of losing your right to vote in the US if you commit a felony, but that's far from the truth. Every state has different rules on criminal disenfranchisement, and Tennessee's are particularly confusing because it's only certain felony convictions that loses someone the right to vote. Moses pled guilty to a felony for tampering with evidence in 2015. Like many poor and working class people who plead guilty, Moses did this because she lacked the resources to continue fighting her case. In the US, you have a right to a fair trial only insofar as you can afford to pursue that right. Tampering with evidence is one of the felonies that rescinds your right to vote in Tennessee. Not that anyone told Moses that at the time or any time until she attempted to run for mayor. Moses' name remained on the Tennessee voting rolls this entire time. In ruling on Moses' ability to run for mayor, Circuit Court Judge Felicia Corbin deferred to the criminal court to determine the completion of Moses' sentence. In September of 2019, Tennessee Department of Correction applied to restore Moses' voting rights on her behalf. This application was approved and signed off on by the Shelby County Election Commission. The Department of Correction then wrote the Shelby County Election Commission the next day saying that they made a mistake, although they have yet to explain this mistake. Shelby County Election Commission claims that they sent Moses a letter notifying her that she remained ineligible to vote. Moses denies receiving this letter. Moses took her letter of voting eligibility, signed by the Department of Correction, and registered to vote. 2 months later, she was indicted for illegal voting. In November, she was convicted by a jury of knowingly submitting false documents. She was sentenced on January 31st to 6 years in prison. Compare this to Donald Kirk Hartle, a Republican in Nevada who was found guilty of using his deceased wife's ballot to vote twice and then attempting to cover it up by declaring the ballot stolen, and was sentenced to a $2,000 fine and probation. Ed Snodgrass, a Republican in Ohio who pled guilty to voting twice using his deceased father's ballot and was sentenced to 3 days in prison and a $500 fine. Or Bruce Bartman, a Republican from Pennsylvania who was found guilty of voting twice using his deceased mother's ballot and sentenced to probation. In justifying Moses' harsh sentence, the judge said she tricked officials into providing the signed letter, even though this was never alleged. Racism in the US is alive and well. Reporting by Timothy Bella of the Washington Post and Sam Levine of The Guardian aided in making this video.